सर मुझे इस बारे में अभी तक कुछ पता ही नहीं गलती किसकी है क्या है, तो मैं इसके बारे में येस और नो नहीं कह सकता। जो लोग इंक्वायरी कर रहे हैं उनकी इंक्वायरी खत्म होने के बाद ही पता चलेगा ये गलत है या सही है।
Well, boxers who returned victorious from Glasgow react to the arrest of the two Indian officials. They remain tight-lipped on the specifics of the case, but they say that action must be taken if the accused is in fact found guilty. This is the latest that is in fact coming in at this point in time. Boxers who have returned home. Remember, India won 61 medals, and after all that victory, there is this shame. These are reactions that are coming in from sporting personalities. Well, consulting editor Borya is now joining me live for more. Borya, this is a really shameful situation given the fact that India has in fact won 61 medals, and the initial reaction that is coming in from boxers who've returned victorious from Glasgow, they are reacting saying that, you know, they don't know the specifics. They remain very tight-lipped on the case, but obviously saying that action must be taken if the accused are in fact found guilty, Borya.
It's natural, isn't it? I mean, every athlete will feel completely let down by this act by these officials, and they will be produced in court tomorrow. It's been a serious national shame. The more the details come out that it was a party, this fellow was driving back Rajiv Mehta at 1 o'clock in the morning. I mean, what was he doing till 1:30 in Glasgow, driving back at that point in time, injuring a woman, hitting a car, bumping, and then running away, trying to flee, getting arrested in a hotel. What can you say except saying this is absolutely shameful and disgusting? So we've got to wait and see what kind of thing happens, because he'll be produced in court 4 hours from now, and then we will get to know what happens to him. But if I understand it right, it is not a case simply of of drunken driving. It will be of hit and run. It will be of accident. So don't feel this thing. There is a serious imprisonment or a serious fine imposed.
Well, absolutely, Borya. They're pointing out that it may not, in fact, just be a case of drunken driving, but more likely to be a case of hit and run. And of course, it has been proven that he was, in fact, under the influence of alcohol. Borya, you're saying that in 4 hours from now, the IOA official will, in fact, be produced in court. What is the nature of charges that is likely to be framed against him? What is the nature of punishment that he is likely to, in fact, be subject to if he's found guilty?
There are two people here. The first one is Rajiv Mehta, who I am told will be produced first, and then Virendra Singh. Rajiv Mehta, 3 kinds of charges: 1 hit and run, 2 accident, 3 trying to obstruct police action, 4 drunken driving. So basically, the first and the 4, I mean, the drunken driving and the obstructing police action will be combined together. What kind of punishment? 6 months of imprisonment to 2 years. £5,000 penalty, 2,500 to £5,000 penalty, forfeiture of driving license, a lot of things. And for the even serious sexual assault, sexual harassment, indecent behavior, depends on what kind of exact charge the police lay on him. That can mean long-term imprisonment as well.
Right, Borya, stay on with us. You know, what a story it has been from Glasgow as our athletes put in their sweat and blood to bring in glory to the country, bagging 61 medals at the Commonwealth Games. 2 officials give India a reason to hang its head in shame. The pain and glory at Glasgow is unmissable. The IOA has distanced itself from these 2 officials, one of them arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol, and of course that hit and run case that is in fact likely to be registered against him, and the other of course was arrested for sexually assaulting the receptionist at the hotel they were in fact staying at. So clearly, Borya, it is a very embarrassing situation as we've been talking about, but you know, I'd just like you to give us your perspective on what you think the IOA has in fact done so far. What do you make of their response? Because it has been, the response so far has been that the IOA has in fact chosen to distance itself from this entire incident. Can it really afford to do so?
No, it can't. I mean, N. Ramachandran, who's the president of the IOA, is in Glasgow.
Right.
And every time he's been contacted, he said stern action will be taken if they are found guilty. Now listen, if one person has been booked for charge of sexual assault, the other person has been booked for an accident, injuring a local woman, trying to run away, fleeing the police, getting arrested at 1 o'clock at night. Now the first thing you do is you take action. You take action, and then you say, okay, I mean, this is not the way to say, okay, you're innocent till found guilty. I mean, there is serious charge. I mean, sexual assault and running away and obstructing police action, and it is known. I mean, otherwise, why have they been booked in the first place? All that we've heard from Mr. Ramachandran is we will take some action. Now, what kind of action? When will you take that action? What will you do to them? Will they be suspended? Will they be removed from the Olympic movement forever? Which is what should be done. Why were they in Glasgow in the first place? At least Rajiv Mehta, what was he contributing to the cause of the athletes? How much of tangible contribution has he made? We have no idea. Frankly, what should be done is this junket for babus, this whole freebie trips for babus at government expense and at taxpayers' expense should be stopped once and for all. Only then will Indian sport be sort of cleansed. And that is what a campaign should be launched by every activist, sports-loving public, the media and organizations like Clean Sports India to get these people out of the Olympic movement once and for all.
Well, absolutely, Borya. Thanks so much for joining us with that perspective. That was Borya Majumdar, consulting editor, joining us live from London with that perspective. Clearly, the words of the IOA, in fact, rings of rhetoric at this point in time. One would expect stronger action from their side. All they are saying at this point in time is that strong action will be taken. But those are words that clearly ring hollow. And this definitely is a wake-up call for the entire country, the nation, to wake up and, in fact, launch a campaign to cleanse our sport of people like those on your screen at this point. Well, the IOA at this point in time is distancing itself from the two officials who will be produced in a Glasgow court at 5:30 India time. The IOA maintains that they were not at the CWG in their official capacities. Well, Rajiv Mehta is, however, a general secretary with the organization who was arrested on charges of driving under the influence of alcohol and faces a penalty of £5,000 or 6 months in jail. Virendra Malik, on the other hand, was a part of a two-member technical delegation who was staying at the students' accommodation in West Glasgow, where it is believed that he, in fact, sexually assaulted the receptionist. Now, if indicted, he could, in fact, face maximum punishment of life imprisonment.